All right. Oh. What, Did you just sneeze?
He snoozed.
I think so. Did a squeak at the very least. All right. So, what do we need? It's a recap. So, recap time. Um, you guys had your conversation with the queens. They granted Kopak, and then a little bit more reluctantly, Varin and Idru access to the royal libraries. Um, let's see. Kopak and Varin found out uh, that the history of Hiryanju is a little bit more convoluted than was previously thought. Um, the people from the country of Jonsu, um, there was assassination of one of the Marquis, um, and it turns out that it was a dwarf of another country, and Lauren thought it was very suspicious, but it explained the reason behind the war and why Queen Celeste was so outraged by the idea of any sort of negotiation with um, non-Hiryanju people, especially why she had such strong feelings about the caste system. Um, Idu tried to cause chaos in the library, got slashed for his troubles by something he didn't quite see. Um, and you guys, Najma went on a walk with Misai. They talked a little bit about Misai's background, of kind of where she come from, and that she had kind of been kicked out of her clan because they didn't agree with she didn't agree with some of their ideals. Um, you guys have all met back in the room for dinner and sleep. Idru tried to cast some spells, and the two magic guards that were stationed on him weren't having it, so they basically handcuffed him to his bed. Um, and like that, you have all fallen asleep. Now, in the middle of the night, Iju, um, you recognize that you were in a dream, and you see before you, I can put Drew in the background. You see before you your patron. He's sitting on a throne and looking down on you. And he says, "Ah, Idru, what to do with you now? My part of the bargain is complete. I brought you to her sister. That is what we discussed, is it not?"
It is Lord of Lies, but it is also incomplete.
Yes,
Uh,
your soul, my legion.
what
But
was
I
that last
brought
part?
your soul to my legion.
What is it you ask of me?
Well, it is took quite the effort to suspend you in space time for 60 years. I expect that effort I have expended will not go for waste. Did you not find it odd that your sister is the goddess? I,
Yes, I came face to face with that. And now I have more questions than answers.
well, it is an old, very taboo spell, at least among those who call themselves gods and goddesses. But even then, for those like me, it is not something I would willingly do unless the situation was extremely dire. Your sister, her soul, is the goddess's soul now. They are one and the same, never to be separated. So, either it is only in the worst of circumstances that anyone will use this. It is total possession of their body. Complete, complete, completely melding of the souls. It is not the first option for any of those who call themselves righteous. And yet, it was done. And your sister was complicit in it.
That does not sound like her. But if they're one and the same, and I cannot have my sister back, that bitch cannot have her body.
Well, it is not exactly like that. You see, I said they're one and the same. And Idru, I need you to roll a constitution saving throw.
Okie dokie. Uh, don't fuck me, dice. 18 plus something. Hold on. Constitution saving throw?
Mm-hmm.
Flat 20.
Okay, so he, Osmodeus, looks at you and he kind of gives a sort of grin. And then you start to feel your body shift and change. Um, because you got a dirty 20, you don't feel any pain, but you do feel muscles stretching and bones cracking, and your body is physically changing. Um, and you hear then Osmodeus in your head. It's like this, one and the same body, same soul, same spirit. And you see the body on the throne in front of you sort of deflate a little bit. Looks like it, almost like an empty skin suit. They are one. And you feel sort of almost against your will, like it's not you controlling it. Your hands come up, and they are now sort of the reddish glint of Osmodeus, and they have the claws. And as you look down, you feel your head is heavier and the weight has changed. You use your hands and you see the horns. You have horns now. Instead of just one, you have four curling off of your head. It's like this. And then all of a sudden, it seems like you're rubber banded back, um, and you just get sort of a um, and sort of dimension shift. So you feel yourself falling on the floor, but there, still sitting in the throne, is Osmodeus. He's in front of you, but he is still sitting. He seems to be above, but you are lying flat on your back. And he sort of looks at you and chuckles a bit. Again, that is a forbidden technique. Not exactly fun, but once it takes, it's permanent. No, my little pawn, I have a mission for you. I want to know why she was at full strength, and then near 60 years ago, when your sister disappeared. Well,
You got
died.
real low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 60 years ago, when your sister disappeared, she suddenly went missing, and the war between these two countries was abated. It's not coincidence. I want you to find out the why and the how of what happened, and why she suddenly backed off, why it was your sister. Do you understand?
I do.
You will be, if you get caught, you will be tortured by those who call themselves gods and goddesses and righteous for daring to learn about a forbidden technique. They do not enjoy people prying into their private affairs either. That is your only warning. I will not save you.
I will take your advice. and
Okay.
your quest is accepted.
Hmm. Wasn't a matter of accepting, but I'm glad you do it willingly. And Dream sort of kind of pulls back, sort of if you've ever seen the Star Wars or sorry, Star Wars or Star Trek, it sort of goes um, like light speed mode, gets farther and farther away, and then kind of fades to black. Um, you wake up. It's about 4 in the morning, and as you open your eyes, the handcuffs pop off you, and immediately the two wizards are alert. But you can sense they are now afraid of you. And I need the rest of you to roll perception checks with disadvantage to see if you see any of this happening or figure out any of this happening. Najma, I did mute
Can,
you.
can I smell it?
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah,
Oh
you can
wow.
smell. You can smell fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear
I'll
is
unmute you,
smellable.
Najma.
Sorry, what did you need me to do, person?
Um, Perception check with disadvantage. Misai got a critical fail.
Okay. Give me 2
But I rolled
seconds here.
straight and I got a 16.
With disadvantage?
Well,
If
if
I
it's with
roll with
smell,
smell,
he has
I get
advantage.
advantage. So it just
Oh, that's
evens
right. You
out.
get straight. Okay. So you, Najma, what'd you get?
1 second here.
If I had disadvantage, it would have been a 5.
Okay.
Fancy new dice.
I rolled a 12. My d20 says I have a 12. I
Okay.
forgot what yeah, and I forgot.
If that's at disadvantage, if you rolled it twice and took the lowest number,
Oh, I need to roll it twice.
yes.
Yeah, let me roll it again. And I rolled an 18, so okay, yeah,
You take the 12. Yep.
Yeah.
Kopak, both you and Najma, sort of stir awake. You guys were maybe not stir awake, but you guys were dreaming, having fine dreams, and then all of a sudden you get it's like a night paralysis. You get the sense of extreme danger and fear, and you wake up. Your body seems frozen for a second um, before you can kind of understand what's going on. Kopak, you smell. You've never really been able to smell it before, but you smell something, and that is extremely strong smell of fear. To a degree, again, you've never been able to smell anything like this. Your nose is not usually sensitive enough, and yet you can smell it now. You also get the slight smell of brimstone and just fire.
What does
Along with
fear
this,
smell like?
Really dank sweat, if you want an honest answer. You know,
yeah,
like when you work out and you like get really nasty, like kind of rotten onion sweaty smell,
yeah,
except
Yeah.
without working out.
it's
Like
Gross.
no
it's
sweat on your body. It's just instant like putrid rotten eggs.
so it's kind of
So
like a musky smell, um,
yeah.
and that's on top of all the other things. Um, and you see that Varin and Misai are still sleeping. They seem to be rather disturbed, especially Misai in their sleep. Misai's body starts to sort of turn uh, to fire, and she starts lighting her bed on fire. Um, but you see, sort of in the center of this, Idru. You see him as he sort of sits up, and the two wizards that were watching him, Kopak especially, you can smell the fear scent is. There's some ambient around, which seems odd, but there's also just from them two specifically, and you see Idru, and he kind of turned his head a small bit, and you see that his eyes are glinting unnaturally red, because they're not usually that color, and they have sort of a sheen to them, like night vision. Najma, you notice this as well. And these wizards are, for all intents and purposes, absolutely terrified. Idru, what do? You wake up and see your handcuffs are gone. Everybody's kind of freaked out.
I like how some of the squishies to guard the other squishy.
I look down at my hands. Do I still see anything that I saw in my dream? Or do I look, or at least do my hands look like me?
Mostly, the nails are a bit longer than you're used to. And your hands seem to, they feel like there's something on them. Something not exactly sticky, but very viscous.
I touch my head. Do I have two horns?
You have your singular horn. And as you go, put your hand up to your head, your hand passes by your nose, and you smell the very strong scent of iron.
Smell of what?
Iron.
Oh shit, he pulled me all the way there. I whisper this under my breath, like very lightly. If the guards hear, they hear. If not, cool.
One of them hears. The other one doesn't. The one who is doing meditation hears you, and you see his eyes kind of widen. And you can kind of tell that. Actually, what is your passive perception, Idru?
10.
10?
Okay,
never mind. Kopak, you have a high passive. What's that? What is it?
15.
15. You hear pounding of footsteps coming your way. Also, Misai's bed is on fire, and there is now an actual fire in this room.
God damn, it's like the first day we got here.
Look, Misai rolled a nat fail on her perception check, but
and caught her bed on fire with it.
Well, hi Varin, you missed the drama.
Yeah, you missed some juiciness.
Well, Varin was out in IRL being a good Samaritan and being a much better person than I probably would ever be. So, yeah. Basically, what happened? Idru had a dream. Idru had a dream of his, because he asked his patron what to do next, and so his patron answered. And the very presence of the demon that he swore fealty to is basically ruining everybody's life in the castle.
Oh no.
I rolled a passive perception for you, or I rolled a perception check for you. You failed. So you are asleep, but you are having nightmares. Misa, you critically failed. So she is having terrible nightmares, and is setting everything on fire.
Controlling her flame.
That's actually kind of hot.
Literally.
All
Get
right.
out of my head.
I got a question for you, person.
Yes.
I got 2 spells that might help with the fire.
Okay.
One's an attacking spell, one is a defensive spell.
Okay.
Which one would be better for the situation?
What are they? Absorb
Frostbite
elements.
or absorb elements?
Either one.
I'll do frostbite because it's a cantrip.
Okay.
Ugh.
Is that a dex save or what?
It's a con save from whatever I'm hitting that's on fire.
She failed. So you managed to successfully put out the fire. Except that as you kind of put out the fire, you see Misai kind of, and then kind of just fall back into the bed. Her eyes are open and she's breathing, but she doesn't really seem to be seeing anything. Iduru, what are you doing?
I will, like, sit fully up on my bed and attempt to stand up and see what they do.
Okay. You manage to stand up. As you stand up, you realize your balance is a little bit off. You look back. Your tail is a little bit different. It is about a foot longer. It has not exactly dragon-like scales, but it has some a sort of a more of a scaly pattern on it, and it does start to look more like a dragon tail rather than a thin rope tail.
I attempt to pick, with tail muscles, pick it up, like drape it over my shoulder. Am I still able to pick up and move my tail?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Whoa, that's new.
The wizard kind of just goes, who? What demon did you make contract with? Who are you?
I let you know as soon as I got here, and it's a lesser demon. It's where I get my warlock powers. Does he believe me?
Are we all awake or?
Vyron, you can roll a perception check without disadvantage, so you just straight roll. Because there's a lot of stuff going on.
So you feel like waking up.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Does he believe me?
Yep, he does.
That's an outer character laugh. I didn't laugh in character.
Oh, I know.
Missed laugh.
So,
and I have my hands up, like police say, "Hey, put your hands up." They're just cocking my face.
Brian, what'd you get?
17.
Yeah, you wake up. There's chaos.
What is this? Huh? Demon? What? What's going on?
Sleep and Margarita are kind of there and huddled into a corner and flipping out.
Why is everything on fire?
Nothing is on fire anymore, actually. It just smells like it.
I'm just blasting cold air at stuff.
At this point, you guys...
It's a new day. Can you roll me a d4 right away?
Yeah. At this point, you guys all... Why can I never find d4s? You all hear footsteps. You got a 1. And
Shoulder cannons, got it.
you all hear footsteps, and kind of in through the door comes a bunch of soldiers, including sweeping behind them. You can tell he woke up, but he's still like put together for he's the sort of elegant that happens strangely to some people that he just always looks good. But he's definitely been woken up. It's
Just like me.
sure.
The
Um
quickest shutdown ever. Sure. Whatever helps you sleep.
Exactly. All right. So he comes in. It's Yves. It is basically the protector of the palace and the queen's personal safety guard. And he comes in. He sees everything that's happening, and he kind of does a sweep over the room and then looks at you, Idru. He says, "I see that you have caused further disturbance."
All I did was get abruptly waken up by a night terror.
Can I
The,
roll deception?
the room smells like fucking brimstone, and these two are wide-eyed and looking dead at me as if some freaking feat of nature
Yes, I am
happened.
aware. I am aware. Yes,
I have no
I
idea. I was chained to my bed.
yes. Again, I am aware. We will need to move you to a different place. I can no longer keep you at the palace. Come, all of you. We will discuss further arrangements. And he kind of waits for you to, if you guys are going to get all your stuff, to kind of brush yourselves off and line up like little ducklings in a row.
I had already asked if I could sleep in the forge.
He ignores you.
Oh man, that was crazy. It was like ninjas and flaming arrows. Godzilla showed up.
And I was asleep for all of this?
Yeah, man. I don't even know if I was awake.
Oh, that was your
You know, I
doing.
wasn't wearing pants. It was really embarrassing.
Well, you sleep in a communal room,
Mom
so
said she was disappointed in me.
I
all
sleep
right.
totally nude, so I don't understand.
Are you guys packing up?
Right, you just have two tails.
Yes, I go around the little partition and I say I'm going to use the chamber pot before we leave. And then
Kind of
That's a
gives
good
you
idea. I'll
gives
join
you a
you.
gives you a side eye. Um, and then he has the floating guy just kind of behind the partition, so he's not like
he's not
watching
staring at me
you.
doing my business. Yeah, but he's
Right,
close enough that he can
but
hear
he's
something.
there, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Varin, you go behind the partition and well, Idris there doing his business.
Still chained up.
No.
No, those broke off me.
Nice, nice.
All right, so I
I'm
motioned
gonna
him.
whisper to you.
Hold on. I
Okay.
motioned to him like the finger over your lips, like the hush without making the sound. And I take one of a new set of my claws and rake it through part of my upper arm so it's covered.
Mm,
Do I still draw blood? Does it heal faster? Any weird change like that?
no.
Okay.
You now have a bloody arm. Oh, by
All
the
right.
way,
Aaron just gave me finger guns.
the slash that you got
Mhm.
previously completely healed.
from
we
the
have to roll
library,
for
do you guys?
stealth?
Ruby, what are you asking me?
Do we have to roll for stealth?
What are you trying to do?
He was trying to whisper something to me, so I would assume so.
Yes, if it's
I'm no longer trying to whisper something, but I was just wondering if we had to roll for stealth in general for our nefarious acts that we're performing at the moment.
I
I
mean,
am
it
literally
depends
taking
on
a morning shit while doing that.
right. It depends on what nefarious acts. If you're going to the bathroom, then that's what they're expecting that you are doing. If you're trying to do anything else that does not involve getting ready and gesturing, then yeah, but I need you to describe to me what you're doing.
Yeah, so all I did was motion for him to stay quiet, see if I had any kind of weird magical healing super speed powers, or if I bled different. If I didn't, I pulled my sleeve back down, finished my business, put my cloak on, and then stand in sight with my hands up and my tail over my shoulder.
Oh, sorry, escapee? Damn it.
Mhm.
In your head, you hear, "No, we're not."
Out loud, I say, damn it.
As you come around the partition, you just kind of you can kind of tell he might have overheard that, or he might just be guessing what
Look in his eyes and go,
what's going.
it's not bigger. It's not bigger anymore.
You're still behind the partition.
And he's sulking about it. So I'm okay with that play of words.
Najma and Kopak, what you doing? Philippe and Marguerite have kind of gone and stood by the door. They're looking kind of nervous and not really sure what's going on. Um, they're definitely scared. Um, uh, Misai is she's kind of out of it, but you can tell she's conscious. She's kind of slowly coming, she's slowly kind of moving and almost like she's coming to, but she's still moving. Um, and the two boys are in a pissing contest.
Mine's bigger.
I guess I just collect my stuff
Okay,
like I was asked to.
okay. Najma?
Elizabeth collects her things and tries to keep an eye on Misai.
Okay. You can tell she's not looking too well. I mean, she's obviously conscious, but uh, that frost blast certainly did something to her.
Can I roll to my god, roll, what do I want to do? An investigation to see if like she's hurt or anything happened.
I'll let you roll a medicine check.
Medicine, okay. Let's see here. Gosh. And I rolled an 8.
An 8. Um,
8 plus shoot, what is my medicine? Give me 2 seconds here.
Medicine, unless you're proficient, should be your wisdom modifier. If you're proficient, depending on the proficiency, it'd be higher or lower.
I can't remember where I
you
here,
are
oh, here we
proficient in
go.
medicine.
Yeah.
You have a plus
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, here we go. Yes, plus 4. So 8 plus 4, that would be 12.
12. You touch her forehead, you touch your forehead, you touch her forehead. She's a little bit cooler than you. And she's a fire genasi. She's not doing so great.
I mean, I did blast her with ice, so
Yeah. So she's kind of out of it. It's not exactly, she's not hurt per se, but she's lethargic, and it's like, sorry, Ruby, but it's like when someone gets heat stroke. Not fully, they're kind of out of it, not really there. Yeah, except that it's the opposite of heat stroke.
it's hypothermia.
Najma, do you relay this information out loud in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, she is concerned. She would like to relay that.
With my hands up, looking at my little floating entourage here, I'm gonna anyway. I'm gonna walk over to Najma and put my forehead to hers. Is there any reaction from her?
Najma? What are you
No,
doing?
Miss Ae. Shh,
Misai?
wrong person.
My brother, that is haram. We are not yet married.
Wrong person.
All right.
We hardly know each other.
You'll be okay.
All right. Najma, I swear, if I don't hear you say mashallah something, mashallah, brother Idris,
Mashallah, Sister
Mashallah,
Mini.
brother Idris.
that is haram. Okay. All right.
Brother
Anyway,
Idris,
is
you have
Miss
turned into Big
Ae-
Iblis. He's Big Iblis.
All right.
Miss Ae have any reaction to that?
Oh yeah, she can see you. She's awake. She's like, she kind of tries to bat you away. She don't like, because she's still kind of lying down, so you're like basically almost on top of her at this point, and she don't like that. But you do notice at that close range, I'll give this to you for free. Her hair isn't really flickering. It's kind of out.
Okay. Just as a quick question, did I get a full night's sleep?
Yes, I'm counting this as a long night rest. Long rest.
Okay. I'm gonna look up to them and say, "Can I help my friend real quick before we leave? Because it may be a problem moving her if she can't get up and function."
Yves kind of just goes, "We will summon a cop for her and have her get medical care. We'll take care of her."
Legit medical care, or like something you would give to a prisoner, because that's a big difference in scale.
As you see that, you see someone kind of pushing through. This old, kind of plump elf lady, and she's wearing these robes, and she's like, she gives her like a look around the room and goes, "Wow, my goodness, this is something." And she turns to Yves, and he says, "This is the royal physician. Our patient is on that bed. Fire genasi. Got blasted with ice." And the elf, the doctor goes, "Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we'll get her fixed right up. You too." And she kind of points to soldiers and starts to get them kind of arranged so that they can get her in a cot and get her picked up and So she'll be okay. So they're taking care of her.
Okay.
So I back away, let them do their gem, saying, okay, I could have done that probably faster without it. I mutter that.
He doesn't pay you any mind.
I would hope not, because boy, he would be holding a butthurt grudge for a long time. So I've picked up my little bit of stuff, and I am ready.
Okay. Varn, are you ready? Najma, are you ready?
Yes.
Varn, did you ever finish going pee?
No, he's still in there moping. Darn, man. He gets a nightmare and it's already bigger.
Varn!
I thought that was Varn. I guess that was the other Drew. I could hear in the background.
Sorry.
There's someone doing their death metal screams. I was like, oh, someone waking up.
It sounded like baby talk to an animal.
I
I heard
mean,
death metal earlier.
knowing Drew, yes, both.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Oh, he's back.
Okay, are you still peeing or are you accompanying people?
Man, I've been peeing for so long. I think I'd like to stop. This is quite alarming.
Roll a Constitution saving.
No, I
Yeah.
100% followed.
Najma? Idru?
Drew out of the bathroom.
Okay. Do you get to at least wash your hands? Jeez.
Is there running water?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then yes.
Good. All right. So if you guys are all ready to go, they're going to take you. He's just going to escort you. And you see kind of Gaspard run up to you at some point, but he's going to escort you out of the palace. Kind of back. You guys pass the library, past the greenhouse, and some other places that you've recognized, and sort of you reach the edge of the palace wall proper. You pass through the gate and you see that there's a smaller sort of